I'm inside and I saw Leprechaun 2. It is directed by Rodman Flender, written by ASEPresents and Turi Mayer, and if you haven't seen this movie, I will spoil it for you. This movie starts and we're following the Leprechaun. He's going after a guy who's denying his daughter to the Leprechaun, and the Leprechaun is like, you know, I'm gonna get your descendant in 1,000 years. And apparently he's like, oh, it's my 1,000th birthday. This means I get to choose a bride. And like, who created these rules? What are you doing? Why are you trying to kidnap women? Why are you going to 1,000 years in the future after this promise? Well, flash forwards are 1,000 years in the movie. But there's the freaking Leprechaun. He's just there. He's just like, I'm 2,000 years old now. I'm gonna get the descendants of that guy from 1,000 years ago. And it turns out to be this chick. It's nothing like the last movie where we have the Leprechaun was put into a box underground and then let out, and then it's impossible to put him in a box again. How did he get out of that box? Anyway, he's now around, he exists. This doesn't pick up from the last movie whatsoever, but instead it seems like he's just freely able to go wherever he wants to go, including stalk this descendant. And she's a pretty lady, she's a pretty blonde. It seems like they only married blonde for 1,000 years. That's incredibly lucky. But of course, she's the descendant. And we have good old pal Leprechaun is like, I'm going to yoink her! Yoink! And then yoinks her. And it's like, what is going on? So he yoinks her, and then the boyfriend of her is like, dude, why did you just yoink her? And like tries to get her from him. But he is so obsessed with this whole, oh, I got myself a bride. I'm the Leprechaun. Do you think I'm pretty? Oh man, the Leprechaun is really creepy too. Like the Leprechaun, for example, he says really gross lines like, you're going to be my wife now. No questions asked. And I'm like, oh yikes. I don't really like this at all. I really hope that this lady is able to escape out with the Leprechaun. I mean, she waits patiently. Good thing that she does wait patiently, because if I were in that situation, I don't know how I would even live, because wow, this is a creepy, gross Leprechaun. Who knows how bad his breath smells? Who knows how hygienic he is? I just don't know, but he is a disrespectful son of a gun. And a beef from 1,000 years ago, you're just bringing it up now? Man, don't you know how to let go? It takes a while to outsmart the Leprechaun, but we do actually outsmart the Leprechaun. And what's fun about this guy, he's like, okay, fine, I've been caught. I'll give you 3 wishes. And this guy, he's like, oh, I'm greedy. The one thing that you should never do is to take a leprechaun's pot of gold, right? And he has like a piece of gold already. At some point he's took a piece of gold, he's taken the princess, and the only reason why he has him alive is that he has the piece of gold and he wants to keep the piece of gold, so you know, he's just doing whatever. But this guy, he's like, oh, I'm big brain, I'm greedy, I'm going to wish for your pot of gold. It appears in the belly. Second, poor choice of words. Wait, I want this out of me. And then it starts to like rupture, right? The third wish, because the Leprechaun's like, well, if you wish me free, if you let me go, then I'll just keep you alive. I promise. And then he gets let go and then he's saved. But it's like pretty intense, not gonna lie. You get the freaking stomach full of pot of gold. This kind of starts to expand. I'm like, oh no, it's gonna rupture his stomach, and I hope that doesn't happen. Of course, this guy is able to trick the Leprechaun with this candy piece of gold, actually. And what's fun is that the Leprechaun is like, oh, you've tricked me. And then instead of the guy being stabbed, he actually stabs the Leprechaun. And the Leprechaun disappears, and now he's gone. And I'm like, okay, so there's no more sequels after this. No more Leprechaun sequels. It's fun, it's weird, and it's confusing. You know the moments in which I told you the plot? In between, there's some like weird filler moments, like interesting dialogue. Not a ton of gore in this one, but man, the Leprechaun is pretty creepy. He gives me the heebie-jeebies. I don't like him at all. This movie is just cheesy is a good way to describe it. It seems, I'm not gonna lie, it seems a little rushed because it just kind of looks slapped together. Just whatever could be made and fit into the movie, made it into the movie. So there's a lot of fluff in between the actual plot points. I still find it weird that the leprechaun held on to a grudge for 1,000 years and then proceeded to steal that guy's, like, descendants. Like, that guy would care? He's dead. Who cares? Like, you just effectively let him get away, but dealt with his descendant. But unsuccessfully, might I add, because they're able to live and get out in the end. Emerge into sunlight, all that fun jazz. Overall, this is a weird, interesting movie. I'm excited for the other Leprechaun movies, because how could there be more movies? He literally dies in this. Well, in the last one he died too. So who knows? He might have had escaped death at some point. I don't know. Maybe he can resurrect. But this isn't like ability that the movie says he does. So this is all up to speculation. This is a whatever movie, I guess. I wouldn't watch it again. But it's fun and weird. I'd give this movie a solid 5.3 out of 10. If you like this review, watch another one the platform really likes that. If you want a fast track movie review, you can do that for $20 Redinos at patreon.com/ASEPresents. And if you'd like to help support the daily grindiness of all them daily movie reviews, go to this link tree, find the way you can help support the daily grindiness of all them daily movie reviews. So go here, and until next time, mint salad sauce, see you later, my sour croutons and bacon bits.